Good Sunday morning to you. Ahead today on Face the State, nonprofits on a holiday mission.
The holidays, a time of joy for many, a time of struggle and stress for others, a time of giving, a time of need. Nonprofits across Central Ohio are working to meet the need and make the holidays a little brighter. They're providing housing for the homeless, food for families, toys and coats for kids.
Coats for Kids has been one of our dream programs. We really get a thrill out of being able to make sure that those individuals who need coats for the winter have the opportunity to get a new coat, right? And so we don't take for granted that every kid and all families have the ability to buy new coats.
It all adds up to hope on the holidays. Today, we're focusing on the missions of three nonprofits: the Columbus Urban League, the Mid-Ohio Food Collective, and the Salvation Army of Central Ohio. What they do, who they help, and how you can support them in carrying out their missions.
Welcome to Face the State. I'm Doug Petcash. Thanksgiving is just a few days away, so the holiday season is definitely upon us. Maybe you've started your gift shopping or putting together your guest list and your menu. Nonprofits have been in the thick of it for a while now, prepping to meet the needs in our communities. As I mentioned, we're featuring three of them who are really making a difference in helping people in all kinds of ways. We start with the Columbus Urban League. It's been around for 105 years now. Its mission is to champion a fully inclusive economy by dismantling systemic barriers faced by Black and urban communities and investing in people's strengths and gifts to stabilize families and grow wealth. And this time of year, it also puts smiles on kids' faces and keeps them warm, too. I'm joined now by Columbus Urban League President and CEO Stephanie Hightower. Stephanie, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Doug.
Well, hey, first of all, let's just talk about the overall mission. Throughout the year, what is the focus of the Columbus Urban League and how do you carry it out?
Well, you know, we have been around, as you said, for 105 years, and we are a social justice civil rights organization, and we focus on social mobility, economic mobility, and workforce. And particularly, we are interested in the strengthening those families from the African American community and the historically underrepresented communities.
You know, as the weather turns colder, we think about people who may be homeless or maybe on the precipice of losing their homes. What does the Urban League do to really help people stay in their houses?
Well, you know, landlord-tenant mediation is one of our focus areas, and so if there are individuals who are having some issues with their landlords, maybe you haven't had an opportunity to pay your rent for whatever reason, you might be behind, and so we are here to help mediate that. We also have, from the city of Columbus and the county, we still have one last tranche of those dollars from the Biden administration to help individuals with their rent, with their mortgages, with utilities. And so if there are people who are struggling, especially during the holiday season when we know, you know, people really have a lot of stress on them, they can call the Urban League and we can see if they qualify for some of those funds.
How big is the need that you're seeing this year?
Well, the need is huge. It continues to be big. With the economy the way it is, people are still jobless. Or they are in need of upskilling. There are still a lot of people who cannot pay their mortgages and that cannot stay ahead of their rent and pay the utilities. Living off of less than $15 an hour in wages people can't afford to live like that anymore. And so we are seeing that increase, especially in African American women, ages 55 and older. We are seeing the need for choice housing for those individuals.
Speaking of upscaling, you're starting to launch some new job training programs, I guess in particular because of the tech surge here in Central Ohio. What do you have going on?
So, you know, we're very much interested in making sure that we prepare prepare those historically underrepresented individuals in the tech fields. And so you have Intel, you have Google, you have Amgen, you have those companies that need those technicians. And so we're looking at certificated programs for people, or possibly getting you into Columbus State for a 1 year or an associate's degree. So we're hoping that folks will come to the Urban League, find out more about those programs.
All right, let's talk about one of the programs that's specific for this time of the year, and that's the Coats for Kids Drive. What does that mean to the organization to be able to do that for these families and these kids?
Well, you know, Coats for Kids has been one of our dream programs. We really get a thrill out of being able to make sure that those individuals who need coats for the winter have the opportunity to get a new coat, right? And so we don't take for granted that every kid and all families have the ability to buy new coats. We know that young people in particular, they grow like weeds. And so the coat last year may not be good for this year. And so being able to come and get a coat for your kids is one of those things that we take pride in being able to do for the community.
And you help a lot of kids. Do you know how many?
We usually probably do around 400 every year.
Wow.
And, you know, I have to say last year we even had some additional coats that we had to end up sending out to some other nonprofits. So if we do, we have a great nonprofit community. So if we don't disseminate all of them, some of our nonprofit partners get them.
You know, talking about tackling some of these issues, it really does take collaboration with different organizations, doesn't it?
Well, that's what, you know, the Human Services Chamber in particular is really bringing all of the nonprofits together so that we do know who has what services available. And that's why the Human Services Chamber is really so important to this community. And just really Mr. Corey and what he's doing with all of us, we're able to collaborate and make sure that our community, the needs are being met from a lot of different entities.
And back to Coats for Kids, do families have to sign up? How does that work?
Well, as soon as you can go on our website, and yes, you do have to sign up, but on the day that coats are being disseminated, you can show up. If you have a young person and you are in need, we will make sure that we service you.
And it sounds like you have a good outpouring of support from the community to. You had extra coats last year.
Absolutely. We have found that the folks in the retail industry, they step up. We also have private donors who also step up to be able to give us the resources we need to purchase those coats.
Stephanie, thank you for your time today and for the good stuff that the Urban League is doing in the community.
Thank you, Doug, for thinking about this human service agencies.
Absolutely. That's the whole show's about today. So again, Stephanie, thank you very much. And for more information on the services the Columbus Urban League offers, you can find their website at 10tv.com. Just click on the Featured Links tab. You can also donate to the Coats for Kids Drive online and learn about other ways to get involved. You'll also find featured links on the other two nonprofits we are featuring this morning. And speaking of that, still ahead on Face the State, their vision is to create hunger-free and healthier communities.
As we see rising costs for housing, for energy, for food, families have to make that difference up somewhere. And the one part of a family's budget that has some wiggle to it is their food budget.
Next, how the Mid-Ohio Food Collective aims to do that and the need it's expecting this holiday season. And a little later, it's an army that fights to uplift people by providing basic needs and life-changing programs. We'll look at the mission of the Salvation Army and how we at 10 TV are lending a hand with that this holiday season. Welcome back to Face the State. I'm Doug Petcash. Nonprofits meet a huge need all year long and certainly in the holiday season. Today, we're focusing on three. The Mid-Ohio Food Collective's mission is to end hunger one nourishing meal at a time today, tomorrow, and for a lifetime. Joining me now to talk about this is Senior Vice President of Communications for the collective, Mike Hochran. Mike, thanks for being here today.
Glad to be here, Doug.
Well, hey, ending hunger is a big goal. How does the Mid-Ohio Food Collective aim to do that?
Well, we start by making sure that our neighbors are able to access fresh, nutritious food at a time when they need that. And we've been doing this for over 40 years. And now we serve over 500,000 Ohioans every single year. And that's from Columbus to Steubenville, Marion down to Chillicothe, across a wide swath of the state. And we start by making sure people can access that food when they need it most.
And how do you do that? You have like a lot of member organizations.
That's right. So we have over 600 partner agencies in every community across the state in the areas that we serve. And so these are food pantries, soup kitchens, senior feeding programs, and the like. And so we're able to access an incredible amount of food and get it out in the communities where it's needed.
And you have a large operation right here as well, right?
That's right. We're headquartered in Grove City, Ohio, and then we use our warehouse and logistics to help serve the entire state.
That is really awesome. So I saw on your website that people who are eligible to get help from the organization are missing, on average, 52 days of eating a year. That's just kind of staggering to hear that.
Isn't it incredible in this community that there are people who don't know where their next meal is going to come from? And we would think that that's something that should be rare or really never happen at all. But the reality is that so many of our neighbors are one bad day away from needing to ask for help to keep food on their tables.
Yeah. How big is the need this holiday season?
Well, the need this year already is bigger than it has ever been,
Really?
well above even during the peak days of the pandemic. So as families look at the rising costs of food, of housing, childcare, all these factors just put strain on families' budgets. And so then when you come to the holiday season, when the whole idea is bringing your family together, everyone at the table with food together to celebrate, that's the time when that pain is felt the most.
And you know, I talked about the stress and the struggle for some families at this time of year. Knowing that they can come to an organization like yours must feel good for you and all the volunteers and the staff you have to know that you are taking a little bit of that away for people.
Absolutely. We know that we're helping thousands of families every single day in order to know where their next healthy meal is going to come from through our partner network and all the services we provide. And we know that behind every one of those numbers is a family, are real people, seniors, kids, working adults whose lives are better for the food they're able to access.
As they say, every statistic actually has a name.
That's exactly right.
No doubt about it. So do you have anything special going on this holiday season, or is this just the time when you know that people will turn out to help you?
Well, we know that the need is there throughout the year. Hunger doesn't take a holiday.
Right.
It just so happens during the holiday season is when people come out the most. And so we work with our partner network to have the fixings that you would need around the holiday season. So we source extra sweet potatoes and onions and stuffing and those things that really make a holiday a holiday. And so that's happening across many of our partner sites. But we know that come January 1st or December 26th, there will still be people who need the help, which is why we look for support for this season and throughout the year.
And do you need volunteers? Do you need, donations? How can people help now?
Sure. So donations are a great place to start. For every dollar donated, we can distribute up to $4.89 worth of groceries. So every dollar, every little bit can go a long way to feeding our neighbors. But for people who want to volunteer, there's a need for that during the holiday season. Everyone wants to help hand out pies, right?
Right.
But we really need volunteers, particularly in January and February, when you're on the other side of the holidays, but your neighbors still really need that help. So we tell people hunger doesn't take a holiday, and they can sign up now to volunteer, make a New Year's resolution to do that for right after the first of the year.
With nonprofits I've been involved with, the 3 months leading up to January 1st were always the biggest months for fundraising. Mm-hmm. So I would assume that it's pretty similar for you, but then you're able to stockpile some of that money and the non-perishables that can carry you into the slower donation months.
That's absolutely right. So our services, whether it's the core food programs we do or our Food is Health programming, our Mid-Ohio markets, which are these no-cost grocery store places where people can come shop for the food that they need and also access other services to stabilize their family, those are operational year-round. So this is a great time for people to show their support and commit to making sure their neighbors have access to the food they need, and then we can use that to make sure people can get help where and when they need it all year long.
And go to mofc.org for more information or to find out how to help or donate, right?
That's the place to go, mofc.org.
I do want to turn back the clock because this all started about 40 years ago, I think you told me. And how did it start, and then how does it compare from that beginning to what you're doing now?
So the idea of food banking is you have hungry people and extra food and you put them together. In that first year in 1980, we distributed about 200,000 pounds of food, a big impact in this community. Sure. Last year, we distributed nearly 80 million pounds, which is enough food for 180,000 meals every single day. So it's grown exponentially, but the need has grown as well. And so we are grateful to the support of this community and our private, public, as well as individuals who all make this possible.
Definitely filling the need. I mean, but that is kind of, it's amazing when you think 200,000 to now 80 million. Wow.
But we measure the impact of our work not just in pounds or families
Sure.
served, but in the health improvements that we're able to see. So sometimes someone's just having one really bad day or week, we're able to get them over the hump, and then they can go back to work, their kids can get back to learning, and that's what it's really all about.
Mike Cochran with the Mid-Ohio Food Collective. Thank you so much for all the good work your organization is doing and for your time here today.
Thank you, Doug.
Appreciate you. Well, for more information on the services the Mid-Ohio Food Collective offers, you can go to 10tv.com and click on the Featured Links tab. You'll find the collective's website there. As I mentioned, it's mofc.org. You can also make a donation, learn about other ways to get involved, and you'll find the featured links on the other two nonprofits we're featuring this morning. As you already heard from the Columbus Urban League, and still to come today, the Salvation Army. Still ahead on Face the State, Hope marches on this Christmas.
For the families coming out for this means a lot of excitement, it means a lot of celebration. It's also a tremendous relief for the parents that were afraid they might not be able to provide the kind of Christmas their kids deserve this year.
How the Salvation Army of Central Ohio is working to make spirits brighter.
Monday in Wake Up C-Bus, it is Thanksgiving week, the classic holiday for food, shopping, and football, and of course, thankfulness. I'm Clay Gordon. We'll also have your travel forecast. We'll see you Monday in Wake Up C-Bus starting at 4:25.
Welcome back to Face the State. On its website, the Salvation Army of Central Ohio says it is on the front line of the war against poverty every day. It offers many services to provide housing, food, help with utility bills, and to give a Merry Christmas to a lot of kids who may not otherwise have one. That's where 10TV helps out as well. Joining me now are Major Tricia Brennan with the Salvation Army and 10TV Community Affairs Director Angela Pace, who's going to talk about the big 10TV toy drive for the Salvation Army. First of all, both of you, thanks for being here today. Appreciate you so much. Now, Major Tricia, you serve Franklin, Delaware, and Union counties.
Yes.
A lot of people, of course. How big is the need you're seeing this year at the Salvation Army?
The need we're seeing this year is larger than we've seen in the past. Every program and participation is up in all of our programs and services, and that's consistent through all of the counties that we serve.
And is it those issues we hear about, of course, housing costs, inflation?
It is. The highest requests we're getting right now are for rental assistance, utility assistance, and our pantry visits are up almost double over what they were last year.
Now, the Red Kettle campaign is always your biggest fundraiser. Do you still need bell ringers this year?
We absolutely need bell ringers. We have about 12,000 volunteer hours we have to cover for all of our locations, and so we are desperately in need of bell ringers this Christmas.
I was looking at the website yesterday and looking through some of the areas of need. So if people know where they can help out, they can go right to the website and see where you still have spots open.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. And so moving into Christmas now, you have the toy drive. How many kids are you able to give presents to in Christmas?
Last year we were able to give over 11,000 children Christmas gifts, and that's all because of the support we have from the Big Ten TV toy drive and all of the wonderful individuals that are in this community coming together to help everyone out.
And Angela, it's been going on for about a decade now. How can people help? How can they donate? How can they get involved with the Big Ten TV toy drive to help these kids?
We have so many ways for people to help out. First of all, we have incredible partners, just really great partners, some who've been with us from the very beginning, and they have collection boxes at their places of business. So we've got Walmart, who is back with us this year.
A lot of locations there.
Yes, and then we've got Reichert Automotive, Safe Harbor Retirement Group, and of course our longtime friends, the Columbus Blue Jackets. So you will see the collection boxes at these locations throughout Central Ohio, and you can drop toys off there. We also have a Click It, and I always get this messed up because I'm not a techno person at all. Click It, Ship It, Gift It option, so that you can go on a website wherever you do your online shopping, and you can send those toys then right here to 10TV as part of the big 10TV toy drive.
And we'll make sure, of course, that they get to the Salvation Army. Talk about the the partnership with the Blue Jackets too, because they do something that's pretty cool for this.
The Columbus Blue Jackets, and I love you guys, have been our partners from the very beginning. So we have collection boxes at Nationwide Arena, of course, at the Blue Line stores at Polaris and Tuttle, I think it is. I should know this by now. And then we also have collection boxes at their chiller houses, their ice rinks throughout town. But the fun thing that the Blue Jackets do for us is they have a collection day at one of their home games that is close to the toy drive. This year they upped it. This year they're going to have collection days on 2 home games. So it will be on December 8th and on December 10th. And all the Blue Jackets fans who come to those games, we're encouraging them to bring toys and drop them off in the boxes there to help make kids happy this Christmas.
They certainly do. How much does this toy drive help out to meet that need of 11,000 kids every year?
We couldn't do what we do without the toy drive, so it helps out immensely with all of the children that we have the toys for. Absolutely.
And Angela, what drives 10 TV to do this?
Well, it's the Major and I were just talking. We had one of their longtime board members who used to work with us as part of the family who got us on board with it, and that was more than 10 years ago. But we did it, larger than that is our community stewardship. Here at 10 TV, we are very, very committed to doing what we can to uplift this community. And what better way than to make sure that kids have happy Christmases.
Yeah.
So the toy drive is definitely a labor of love for us.
Yeah, so we don't just cover the community, we're part of the
Absolutely,
community. Right.
absolutely.
And Major Tricia, what are some easy ways that people can help out, if they're able to, of course?
Easy ways to help out are certainly bell ringing and volunteering if they want to do something like that. As Angela said, bringing toys to the toy boxes. We also do a food portion of our Christmas distribution, which is called our Red Box. That's the Christmas dinner and Christmas breakfast. They can donate to that to help, fill out the entire Christmas experience. There's lots of ways to help out with the Salvation.
And Angel Tree too, right?
Yes, the Angel Tree tags, you'll see them at some businesses, you'll see them at some other malls. You'll also see Redbox cards too, similar on the tree, where you can donate to the actual Redbox or Angel Tree program.
And isn't it amazing too, when you think about somebody comes out, they might only have 6 cents, to put in the red kettle, but boy, that adds up.
Everything adds up. There is no gift too small that helps someone else out in need.
We have people who have come through the toy drive line every year. It gets to the point where we recognize them, and there's a couple that brings bikes. They bring 5 or 6 kids' bikes with helmets and shin guards and the whole bit. So it really does become a toy drive family after a while.
It is so good, and this community really does seem to be giving, doesn't it?
This is an incredibly generous community.
Got to have that kind of help to be able to do what you do.
You really
Thank
do.
you and your staff and your volunteers for covering such a wide swath of ground, but just so many people that you help as well.
Well, thank you.
And I hope that the donations and the bell ringers volunteer and show up to help you out this year. Major Tricia Brennan, Angela Pace, thank you for being here today to talk about
Thank
these
you.
wonderful efforts that are going on in our community.
Thank you.
And for more information on the services the Salvation Army of Central Ohio offers, you can find their website at 10tv.com. Just click on the link, the featured links tab, that is. You can also make a donation there and learn about other ways to get involved. You'll also find links on the other 2 nonprofits we featured this morning. Those are the Columbus Urban League and the Mid-Ohio Food Collective. All the information you need on how to give a toy through the Big 10 TV Toy Drive is on 10tv.com as well. It's right on the homepage and in the featured links. Thank you for joining me this week for Face the State. I'm Doug Petcash. I'll see you next Sunday at 11:30.